All right, let's get right into it. There's this phrase that has pretty much taken over social media. You know the one. It feels like this simple, clean solution to really messy relationships. But what if that simple solution isn't the right one, especially when the stakes are just incredibly high? You've definitely heard this, right? It's the let them theory, made famous by Mel Robbins. It's so catchy and it's spread like wildfire, mainly because it promises this sense of personal freedom. And you can totally see why it's so appealing. I mean, we all know how absolutely exhausting it is to feel like you have to manage someone else's feelings or fix their choices. This theory says, hey, you can stop. It gives you permission to let go of the control you never really had in the first place. Okay, so let's be fair. Let's start with where this theory actually gets it right, because it's not all bad. And look, this really speaks to a struggle that is so real for so many of us. We can't fix people. It's just not possible. And trying to control every little thing in someone else's life, it will leave you completely drained. This gives us permission to stop being the rescuer, because sometimes people really do need to feel the weight of their own choices to learn and grow. And here is the pivot. This is the question that changes the entire conversation. For a lot of us, especially when we're talking about our families, the real fear isn't about losing control. It's about losing the entire relationship. This is where we have to get really honest. For families who are navigating huge, complex issues like addiction or deep trauma, that simple phrase, let them, can become a really dangerous excuse to just disconnect completely. You see, when you just let them go without any kind of plan for staying connected, you might be doing more than just creating distance. You could be accidentally reinforcing their deepest wounds. That feeling of being abandoned, that deep sense of shame. And ironically, it can make the very behaviors you're worried about even worse. This quote right here, it really hits home. The story behind it is about a mom whose son was spiraling. She took the let him figure it out advice. She pulled back. But the lesson her son learned wasn't about independence. The lesson he learned was that he was utterly alone, that nobody cared. And that's not healing. That is just reliving old trauma. So if let them is just too blunt, too simple for these really delicate situations, what's the alternative? Well, it's about a shift in mindset. It's about moving from letting go to leading with connection. Let's just put these two side by side. Let them can feel so black and white. It's all or nothing, and it can easily become a justification for just checking out. Lead with, on the other hand, embraces nuance. It's not about letting go of the person. It's about finding a way to stay present and invite connection, but in a much healthier way. And this gives us a whole new game plan. So instead of just disconnecting, you lead with curiosity. You ask, what is this behavior actually about? You lead with clarity on what's your stuff to deal with and what's theirs. You lead with consistency, so you're a steady presence. And maybe most importantly, you lead with compassion for them and for yourself too. Now, hold on. This doesn't mean you just become a doormat. Not at all. Boundaries are still absolutely crucial. But we have to kind of redefine what a boundary is. It's not a wall you build to keep people out. This is so important. A healthy boundary is not an ultimatum. It's not the silent treatment. It's not a barricade. It is simply clarity, delivered with compassion. The whole point is to create safety inside the relationship, not to end it. So what does that actually sound like? Here is a perfect example. See how it starts with connection? I love you, I'm here for you. It affirms the relationship first. And then it states the clear, compassionate limit. It protects you without attacking them. Or take this one. This speaks directly to that deep fear of abandonment. It says, hey, I'm not leaving you forever. I just need some space right now. And that promise, I'll check in next week, that's a concrete way of showing you're still connected, even when you need that boundary. What's really cool is that all of this is backed by some fascinating science called co-regulation. It's this idea that our nervous systems are kind of contagious. They sync up. So when someone else is spiraling, your own calm, steady presence can literally help calm their nervous system down. It can be more powerful than any wall you could ever build. I absolutely love this metaphor. Your job is not to be their life raft, jumping into the stormy water to save them and getting swamped yourself. No, your job is to be the shoreline, visible, steady, and safe. You're the solid ground they know they can always come back to. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we put all these pieces together into a strategy that works long-term? The goal here is to build peace, not through distance, but through your presence. Here's your playbook. First, use your boundaries as an invitation to a better conversation, not an ending. Second, make sure your boundaries come from a place of love and dignity. Third, practice the pause. When you get triggered, just take 90 seconds. It can change everything. Fourth, try to understand the emotional reason behind their actions. And finally, don't just tell them what to stop doing. Show them the path back to connection.
Let's just let that sink in for a minute. This is not about being a savior. And it's such a relief to know that it is not your job to fix another human being.
You don't have to rescue them from the storm, but you can be the lighthouse, a steady, guiding light, the one that offers a way back to safety, shining consistently, no matter how wild the sea gets.
And this is the ultimate takeaway. Pushing people into isolation almost never heals them. So the final question we should be asking isn't, should I just let them go? But how can I stay present in a way that actually allows for change? Because true, lasting healing doesn't happen when we're alone. It happens in relationship.